everybody. Welcome along to the latest edition of Everywhere We Go, Kiddy, a massive Kidderminster Harriers fans podcast with me, Nick Hatton. We are, a couple of days away from the start of the new National League North season. It has been a big summer of upheaval at Agbra, and it all gets underway this Saturday at home to Scarborough. Delighted to say that joining me today is the Harriers goalkeeper, Christian Dibble. Christian, how are you?
Good, thank you. How are you, mate? You all right?
Yeah, really good. Thank you very much for doing this. We'll talk about the injury rumor in just a moment. That is the first question on my long list of questions. But the first question on this podcast is always, whoever you are, whatever your role has been with the club, is what does Kidderminster Harriers mean to you?
Well, it means a lot. It means a lot. Obviously, I've really enjoyed my time here. I mean, it's probably the most games I've ever played in my career, and I'm obviously at 31, so I've had a really good run of games. I just love playing for the club. It's been really enjoyable. Obviously, we've had our ups and downs. Obviously, last year was a bit of a I don't know how to. I don't like thinking about it, but
You're not the only one.
absolutely gutting on it to go out. I was about to say go out. We didn't even go out. We just
Just
lost it all in the last
blow
two
it.
games. Yeah, blew it. But yeah, we've kind of had to try and put that behind us now and go into the new season and look forward to the new season and all the changes that have happened with the club as well.
Yeah, we'll talk about the changes in a moment. Let's talk about that big rumor then that started when we were playing Stourbridge away pre-season, and then I think it started on Twitter. But somebody basically put the words "Dibble" with a crying face, and then that just started all these rumors about you suffering this seemingly season-ending, if not career-ending injury. And then what's going on? What's going on? So put everything to bed. Obviously, you've played since. Is there any hint of any sort of injury? What's the situation?
No, nothing. Obviously, we played Worcester City on the Tuesday night, and when they scored, I went to jump up and shout at a couple of people, obviously angry because I just made a save, got out for a corner, and we've conceded from that corner, and I've just felt my knee a little bit. So obviously the Astros aren't great for footballers, playing on them, and I just felt a bit crappy a couple of days after, and then I spoke to the gaffer and he said, "Look, Dibs, have the weekend off, get back, see you Monday." So obviously with the sitting with the girlfriend Saturday night, and I get a call off Billy. Uh, he did our and he was the analyst, and he called me and
Yeah,
said, "You done your ACL?" I was like, "What about?" I said, "Who said this?" Obviously, I'm not on X
yeah.
Twitter anymore, so I don't see any of it. So I went in Monday, and all the lads saying, "Oh, dear, bloody hell, that was a quick 18 months." But yeah, I don't know where it's come from, but what the internet's mad in that
Yeah.
people can say what they want, but you know, it's a good laugh. It's a good laugh.
Well, it wasn't.
Yeah.
I can tell you why. It wasn't when we first saw it. But I
No.
guess as well, it's a sign of the esteem that you're held in, that everybody who thought you were out for 18 months felt that was a massive blow. That sort of shows how important you are to us.
Yeah, but I mean, it's nice for people to, think of me that way. I know everyone doesn't think the same, and I've learned that in football. Obviously, getting older, you know, you start to not look at things on social media. The good things are always great, but then when you see the bad things and obviously people slagging you off, then I just took myself away from that now. I don't really want to look anymore. But if somebody, if people pull me and I'll have a good chat with them and talk about the game, well, that's fine. But I try to stay away from the social media stuff these
Yeah.
days.
Did that start at Wrexham? I remember watching in the documentary. That was quite a feature of the sort of the first series of the documentary.
Yeah, well, Wrexham's changed a lot now, hasn't it? From when I was there to what it's like now. But yeah, it's you know, if I could have changed, if I would have done things I would have done now when I was probably at Wrexham, and even before Wrexham, I'd probably had a different career. I think I focused on too much of what people had to say rather than focusing just on myself. But like I said to you before, in your first question, I've really enjoyed playing week in, week out. 52 games, I think it was last year. We got really close, and honestly, I've loved it. The fans are brilliant. I've got made some really good connections with a lot of them. So yeah, I'm really excited to go into this year and see what we can do.
Yeah, well, you are. I can assure you, being on X, that you are definitely a big fans' favorite. So you've got nothing to worry about there. Let's talk about your time at the club so far. Then you're heading into a fourth season with us. One promotion, one relegation, one very near miss for the title, and a club record number of clean sheets for a season as well. So how do you sort of sum it all up at the moment?
Uh, yeah, been really good. Obviously, you take away when obviously the relegation season was a tough one because I didn't think we were really that bad. We just found it difficult to put the ball in the back of the net sometimes, and that was the difference between us staying up and obviously going down. Obviously, Russell, he was brilliant. We had a good times with him, and it was just a difficult transition from the National League North to going into the National League, and then you come 6 months down the line, and you're starting to find your feet, and then it's a bit too late. And we give it a good go. Some of the away days we had Hartlepool, we played Oldham, didn't we? We won 2-1 there, and it was hard. But then I look on my side, and I had the second, I think, second most clean sheets in the National League, and
Mm,
for a team that got relegated, you're thinking, well, how's that happened?
yeah,
But yeah, it's obviously obviously don't look at the relegation side of stuff now because obviously we had a really good season last year, and we just want to try and build on that again and do one better and actually win the league this time around.
yeah. Fingers crossed. What that just to touch on that relegation season. Obviously, Russ lost his job in the January of that season. I know Russ pretty well, and I think obviously you do as well. He's a good guy, isn't he, Russ? And you could sort of see how much the strain that season was having on him as a player when results aren't going your way and a manager loses their job. How are you feeling as a squad?
Yeah, it's tough, and I think anyone will say it's football's a tough old game, isn't it? Because you'll have people who won't like the manager and people who will like the manager. So, some players will be buzzing that he's gone and
Yeah,
they'll be thinking, oh, I'm going to have an opportunity now. And there'll be also players who had a lot of respect for him, like myself. And, he brought me in and he gave me a good opportunity to show what I can do. And obviously, yeah, I was gutted, but at the end of the day, it's part and parcel of football. Managers come and managers go, and you just got to be professional and look to the next person who's coming through the door. And, it is a team game, but you just need to focus on yourself and do what you can in your
yeah,
position. You,
yeah,
and that's basically it's all you can do. You are playing for a team and the club and the fans and your families, but you just got to do your best and you keep your head down and just, you know, it's just 3 points on a Saturday or Tuesday night at the end of the day. But yeah, through my career, I'm sure every player has seen loads of managers. It's just how it works now.
yeah. So obviously the relegation was confirmed in the end. Phil Brown came in and couldn't save us in the end. It kind of was close for a little while, didn't we? Won the first sort of four, and then sort of form again, then sort of petered away. Then the following season, it was like a different Phil Brown. It felt like the way that we were playing was completely different. Put together this really exciting side that was in within the final game of winning it. Talk to me about the differences between Phil Brown from the end of the relegation season to what we saw last season.
Uh, I think he said it himself, Phil Brown. He said, when he come in, he didn't really have any time to come in and play the way he wanted to play. I think if I recall, he come in was it late January?
Yeah, about that. Yeah,
Late January, and I think it was more of he wanted to get the ball into the final third, whichever way that was, to kick it long towards. Well, basically it was, wasn't it?
yeah,
And go and play in the final third. And I think obviously when we got relegated, he had a pre-season. He had 6 weeks before the first game of the season to basically show us the way he wanted to play. And I think with Phil, it was more of what we did out of possession and how we pressed against teams, and we made it difficult for other teams. The way we worked, he wanted he, players to run their socks off and have to, crawl off the pitch. And
mm,
like I said, it was the way the season ended, and we put so much hard work into it for it to all go to
yeah,
pot the last game of the season. It was difficult, but we had a really God. Did you hear that?
No.
My phone was ringing through the
Oh
computer.
no, sorry.
Sorry. So yeah, but he just had time to work on what he wanted, and it was a new league for him, and he didn't know much about it. But
Yeah.
I think that was just the way he wanted to do it, and we did give it a good go, but in the end, we couldn't get over the line.
Yeah, I mean, it could have gone wrong quite a bit earlier than the final game of the season, couldn't it? We had that really horrible blip where there was that defeat at home to Spennymoor, I think was kind of the lowest ebb, wasn't it, of that season. And then all of a sudden, it seemed to turn around. And one of the big things I could have noticed is this is going to might sound a little bit weird, was what Phil Brown was wearing. I don't know whether you noticed whether he went from his usual clothes, shall we say, to all of a sudden
Yeah.
he became a tracksuit manager, didn't he? And then it was like that was almost like the catalyst as well. It was really, really bizarre to see.
Yeah, yeah, he's just. I don't actually know. I'd never really paid any notice to that. I always thought he dressed up smart and put his red checkered shirt on a lot. So he used to like that one, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah, but literally, I think from the home game after the Spennymoor defeat, he was in a tracksuit. I definitely remember that because I spoke to him afterwards or shouted down to him saying, "You've got to stay a tracksuit manager now, Phil," and he did for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
It was bizarre. I don't know because it was a there was talk of a whole sort of heart to heart, wasn't there, amongst the squad and the management and things like that. I wonder whether he's had a look at himself and said, because I've spoken to opposition managers and they've commented on what Phil Brown's worn in the dugout before, whether it's kind of like, is he really taking it this seriously? Is he trying to make it about him kind of thing? To then go to that tracksuit manager almost makes it feel like, the football is the be all and end all.
Yeah, well, obviously I was never really on the bench from a lot, but from what I've heard, he was he's very vocal.
Yeah.
He never lost his love for the game. He loved it more than anyone. But that's just Phil Brown for you. I think it was after maybe the Spennymoor game or the Guiseley game we were in. He brought us in on the Sunday morning, 9 o'clock. We were in there for 45 minutes, just having a proper heart to heart, and that happened in maybe two or three occasions that season. Uh, but we can't. No point of dwelling on what happened last year, but like you said, you look at some of the games we did lose at home, and so even some away. The Chorley game when we played Chorley away from home and we won the up at 1-1 one net. They scored just before half time, and
Yeah.
you just look at some of the games we should have won and we didn't, and that's kind of how it all crept away from us. But like I said, you can't dwell on it now. New beginnings, new manager, obviously new personnel, I suppose, as
Yeah.
well. So we're just looking forward to that, and I can't believe how quickly pre-season's gone.
Yeah.
We'll be into it on Saturday, so yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. That was a throwaway comment from me about the tracksuit manager thing.
Yeah,
Obviously,
I
fans will
can't
probably,
remember him wearing a tracksuit, honestly. I
wow,
can't.
you are super focused then. You are
Yeah,
super
it must
focused
be.
on the matches.
Must be. Yeah, it must be.
People, I mean, fans will say that obviously the turning point will be the arrival of Kyle Morrison and Dave Worrell as well, which obviously then took it to the final day. We beat Hereford, thrash Hereford. That was a brilliant final home game of the season, and everybody is optimistic, aren't they, about going to, was it 17th place, 18th place Southport on the final day. It sounds too simple to say what happened, but talk to me about the sort of the days leading up to that and what actually happened on the day, because sort of hindsight is a wonderful thing. But I know Chris Williams at Hereford and Worcester had said he'd felt, hearing Phil Brown's sort of pre-match interview, that he almost felt it was like a foregone conclusion. In hindsight, did it feel like there was a touch of complacency there or not?
It's a tough one because I wouldn't say we were complacent. I think we were probably very, very confident going into the game. It's a tough sport, isn't it, football sometimes, because you go into a team who virtually have nothing to play for, and we're going to win the league, and we've been on this unbelievable run, probably playing the best football we have in what, eight, was it eight, 7 or 8 games, maybe
Mm.
8 games, whatever it was, and we just went in really confident, just went into the game really with loads of confidence, and I couldn't tell you why we didn't turn up or why we weren't gelling. It just didn't happen for us on the day. But like the last season, we're kidding with Harriers. You know what I mean? We're one of the biggest clubs, if not the biggest club in the league, and we'll go to places like Leamington, who won't even cut the grass or won't put water on the pitch. Southport was the same. There's no water on the pitch. It was dry, hardly been cut. the goalmouth's like a Southport beach. It, you'd like to say if it was Agbo, it would have been a totally different game,
Yeah,
but teams don't want to make it easy for you. Some teams cup final and they just wanted to make an upset, and obviously they did, and we had to deal with that. And we wanted to go into the semi final against Chester or whoever it was at the time because it was Buxton and Chester, wasn't it?
yeah,
And obviously we didn't get it over the line there, and it's just one of those things in football. Probably when you look back at it now, Southport probably really, really hurt us, didn't it? And that was a problem.
yeah.
The problem.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about whether how much that sort of impacted what happened in the
Yeah.
in the playoff semi-final. Just back to the Southport game briefly. As a goalkeeper, is it the worst position to be in when you're chasing a game and you can't really influence it? Yes, you can make the saves and things, but you can't put the ball in the back of the net at the other end. How frustrating is it, and how nervy and anxious is it watching it from almost from afar, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right. But you just totally focused. I mean, towards the end of the game and 20 minutes to go, it felt like I had one defender every time, and every time they were counter-attacking, it was like 4-on-2, and I don't really know why they didn't score another one because we
Yeah,
were we were trying to get a goal, weren't we? And yeah, I think for me, it's uh, you just got to stay switched on, and obviously if the ball comes over to you and that, you just deal with it. But yeah, it's you just hoping and praying that you score because we had a couple of early chances in the first half which we could have put away. I think everyone remembers that Brown nearly scored, and if that goes in, it's probably a different game. It's like
yeah.
we went up with Russ and we scored. I think we scored in the first 5 minutes most games towards the
Earlier,
end.
earlier than that,
Just,
wasn't it? I
yeah,
think. Yeah,
it just set us on our way. But obviously that day it just didn't happen, and then maybe it brings in a bit of nerve to the lads, and they're thinking, "Oh God, we haven't scored yet." And you can't think like that, can you? If it takes you to the 90th first minute to score and win 1-0, then so be it. But obviously it didn't happen.
yeah. Didn't happen in the playoffs either, which was a big disappointment. A word on Ashley Hemmings. That season that he had was just beyond anybody's expectations, wasn't it?
Yeah, unbelievable. It's unbelievable, wasn't it, really? I mean, fair play to him. Some of the goals he scored, he scoring off his head, scoring from 30 yards, left foot, right foot. Yeah, it's unbelievable. And I don't think it was just him, but I think he was just playing with that confidence and freedom, to know if he has a shot from 30 yards, he's going to score. So, if you're scoring and you decide to take it on again and you score again, then your confidence is flowing. So, yeah, fair play to him, and he probably deserved all the awards he won at the end of the year.
Yeah, completely, completely.
Mhm.
So obviously the Chester semi-final doesn't go our way, and then was it? I don't even know. Was it the next day or 2 days later after that? Phil Brown is given his marching orders. Now I remember sitting with some fans at the time thinking, and we were saying, hearing whispers that maybe things weren't all rosy between the manager and the chairman potentially. So when you heard that Phil Brown had gone, was it a surprise to the squad, or had you kind of heard those rumblings as well?
To be fair, I didn't hear anything about it because we had meetings on the Monday. Sorry, we played on the Sunday, did we?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah. So we had meetings on the Tuesday and Wednesday, and obviously we come in. I come in on the Wednesday to meet with the manager, and I obviously heard the news that he was gone. So it was yeah, it was. I don't think anybody really saw it coming. I don't know what happened behind the scenes. It was just a big shock really because I've had a lot of respect for him. I thought he was really good. But like I said before, football in it, things change,
Mhm.
changes happen. So I honestly don't know the ins and outs and why it all happened. But yeah, he'd gone, and then obviously you give him a text, say thanks for everything, and then you move on, don't you? But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't know.
And then how soon are you kind of hearing whispers about Adam Murray coming in?
To, to be fair, I didn't really speak to many of the lads over the summer until he got announced. I think I spoke to Morgs, and he'd text the night before saying it might be Adam Murray, and we're going to get the text in a couple of hours. And then I think it was the day or the day after, all the contractor lads were in for a meeting with the manager, and that was it. And then he said, "See you, do your programs, and we'll see you on the 26th of June." So he had a lot of work to do, I suppose, as well, didn't he?
Yeah,
Every manager probably does with the ins and outs and players he wants to get in, and but yeah, I mean, this preseason has been good. I mean, especially for me, I don't know. You've probably seen the way he wants to play, and it's uh, it's a different style of football to the way I've played for the past 5, 6 years.
yeah,
So I'm looking forward to it though. Challenge is good. So
yeah.
we'll see.
Well, I've not managed to get to any preseason games, and I had kind of written down actually how football under Adam Murray is different for you. So, what will be the differences as a goalkeeper?
I just think the way he wants me to play is well, not just me, but the goalkeepers collectively at the club. I think he likes them to be a bit more aggressive and positive, sweeper keepery. Uh, the way he wants his team to play. He wants to suffocate the opposition a lot. Play in their half. So it's going to be demanding probably a bit more sprinting than I'm used to. I'll probably have to do a few more sprints, but no, I'm looking forward to it. A lot more playing out from the back. Uh, not just playing 5 yard passes centre halves, clipping the fullbacks, clipping into the midfield, clipping into the strikers. So probably gonna look a little bit more different, but it all won't be the same all the time, obviously, depending on opposition and who we're playing, and like I said before, what pitch we're playing on, what
Yeah.
ground we're going to. So yeah, it'll be good. I'm looking forward to it.
One thing that will be different is the squad. It's been a massive overhaul, hasn't it, in the summer? I don't think too many people expected the change to be as sort of severe as it has been. We've lost a lot of players to Brackley, which I think has put a few fans' noses out of joint. Others have gone elsewhere. Caleb, of course, has gone to Woking. A few others have gone elsewhere as well. Hemmings has gone to Dagenham, which surprised a few. How different is it then to 12 months ago? What's the vibe like compared to the Phil Brown squad?
Same vibe, same players. There's no bad eggs in the changing
Yep.
rooms. I think every manager these days does the homework on the players and how they are. Like it's. I feel like I'm repeating myself all the time, but I don't know. Obviously, change happens, and we've got a good set of lads this year. And I don't. Obviously, it's because you make relationships with players, don't you? Especially a lot of the lads since I joined a few years back. A lot of them have been here until they left last season. So for them all to go out the door and then you're making new relationships again. But I suppose with me, it doesn't take me long because I can talk to anyone. But yeah, it'll be we've got a good set of lads. It's a good changing rooms. Um, so I'm looking forward to it. I mean, even the gaffer, he's deadly serious when he has to be, but he likes a bit of banter as well. So
Yeah.
I know we went on that camping trip, and that was a a bag of laughs. We had
Yeah.
me in Palms and Bisher in this blow up tent, and there's lads running around letting the air out of the tent when we're trying to sleep. So it's all in good spirit. Do you know what I mean? It's yeah, but we got a good group. We got a good group.
Yeah, there was a great little bit on the on that pre-season video. I can't remember who said it. He's like, Ebbsfleet have gone to Spain. Ebbsfleet have gone to Spain and we're sat putting our own bloody tents up.
Yeah, fair play to them. Fair play to some of them. Curzon Ashton went to Spain, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, how do you look at that? You're clearly realizing the benefit of having this sort of camping trip and the kind of the team building that it's actually doing.
Hmm. Well, yeah, it's always beneficial. It doesn't matter what you do. I mean, camping on the floor sounds good, doesn't it? I mean, yeah, it's a good team bonding exercise,
Yeah.
except for the running because I'm not the best runner in the world, and the lads put me to shame sometimes. But yeah, the stuff after, we eat together. Had a few drinks on Thursday night, and then back to work on the Friday. I think it's just having everyone together, and then especially the gaffer's big on the families, so the families on the Friday night and eating together. So you're getting that bonding in, which is good. And it doesn't matter where you go. You can go to Spain, you can go to Bewley camping spot, you can do whatever you want. But if you're together, it's the same objective at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah. And I mentioned obviously the squad overhaul. It is a completely new defense, isn't it? In terms of the sort of the centre half partnership. Obviously, Morrison's gone, Caleb's gone. Alex was barely part of it last season as well, wasn't he? As well, so it is a whole new defensive back line. How easy or difficult is that to kind of to build? I suppose. I guess it coming in at pre-season is the perfect time for that to happen.
Yeah, 100%. I think you do learn a lot very quickly. And obviously, I'm sure the lads, the midfielders in the back five will be learning a lot about me as well. You know, your uh, strengths and strengths, and you could say weaknesses, but I don't think there is a lot of weaknesses in
Yeah,
our group, you know what I mean? But to play to their strengths and what they want and know what they want, it's don't take me like the first 2 weeks and you're basically fine. It's I think the biggest thing with defensive is communication more than anything. You know, it's such a big thing in this league as well,
yeah,
and most of the teams we're going to come up against, you've probably seen it. There's not much football played, is there? It's pretty much route one or knockdowns or flick-ons. So, you know, a lot of covering needed from the back four, the back five. But yeah, it was obviously just touch base on like the relationship side of it. You know, like I said, we've got a good squad and we can have our arguments on the pitch, but you know, when we go back into the changing room, you know, it's done. It's done, and then you're on to the next. So yeah, oh, you know, I've played with Jordan Tunnicliffe before. Mika OB played against him a load of
yeah.
time. I suppose when you're from the same two leagues, the National League and National League North, you know a lot about the players you're playing with anyway, just from coming up against them.
Yeah, I mean, and the goalkeeping situation as well. There's three on the books, isn't there? Obviously, you, Josh, and Tom. Tom is the player coach, isn't he? So
Yeah.
what happens in training then? Is he coaching you? How does it work?
Yeah, Tom, obviously he had a bad knee injury, didn't he, last season? Against they played in a friendly. I think he did his PCL or something.
Yeah,
He's out 4 or 5 months now. I think he's got another month left, which is good. But yeah, he'll put on the sessions, he'll coach it as well. But when he's back fit, he'll join in as well. So he basically puts on the session. But he's been brilliant to be fair. I've had a really good experience with him. To say he's just started and he wants to go into that after his playing career. Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. Everything's different. But I've had good experiences with every goalkeeper coach I've had at the club. Well, I've only had two, really, haven't I? Lee Evans and Tom Palmer, I think.
yeah,
Yeah. So it's been good. He's been brilliant, and he's he's big on the on looking back on the clips. So you know, after we've played, they'll all be clipped up every action I do, and we'll sit down for 15, 20 minutes and we'll look back at them. So it's you know the level of detail you get in the National League North, even when you're just looking back at what you could have done better or what you've done well, it's good, and I think he'll go a long way when he goes into his coaching.
yeah. Is he seen as number three technically then? Because he's got his coaching role, and he's available as and when needed. Is it kind of you and Josh who are the kind of numbers one and number two?
Um, yeah, I honestly wouldn't know. You're probably asking me the
Yeah,
wrong question there, but I suppose until he's back fit, Tom, it'd just be me and Josh, yeah.
yeah.
Unless something else happens or the manager brings in another goalkeeper, I don't know. I honestly couldn't tell you. But yeah, at the moment it's just me and Josh until Tom comes back from injury.
Yeah, and a very straightforward question. I mean, how important is that? Is that goalkeepers union in a squad? Yes, you're vying for, vying to play, but every goalkeeper I've ever known has always got each other's back.
Oh, 100% all the time. We have all each other's backs. Even though we're horrible to each other and we find each other for the smallest things like dirty boots or dirty gloves or wrong kit. But it's just standards at the end of the day, and if
Yeah,
you're getting stuff wrong, it all goes into a nice little pot for the Christmas do anyway, for when the goalkeepers go out for a bit of food and drink. But yeah, it's good to have the competition, but we all have good relationships with each other, which is good because to be honest, I wouldn't want to go into work with my goalkeepers and not like them or not want to talk to them because it's not a fun environment at the end of
no,
the day, is it? You're just going into training, you don't want to wake up in the morning, you don't want to go into work. And I've never really had that feeling, which is good.
yeah. Just a final one ahead of the season. Then, what are expectations? What have you seen in pre-season, and how are they meeting up to what you want to achieve this season?
No, it's been good. Yeah, it's been good. Obviously, like I said before, it's been different for me because of the way the gaffer wants me to do things and play. So I've had to think about it a bit more in the games, you know, whether to come or go or stay. But I'm getting used to it. I'm just looking forward to Saturday, really. Uh, when you're in the first day pre-season, you got 6 weeks and you're thinking about the first 3 weeks and it's just going to be running and up and down work, getting up off the floor. You're like, oh. But no, now we're coming into it and there's 3 points on the line. Sometimes in pre-season you might think, you go and watch a game and it's all slow, isn't it? You think it's all slow, but that's where the proper stuff starts. And like I said before, 3 points on the line, you want to go out and you want to win, and then you're on to the next game. So yeah, but I think we're all looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, can we just talk about life as a goalkeeper then? Because for people who don't know, I don't know why they wouldn't know, but your dad obviously was a goalkeeper, played for Manchester City amongst others, Wales international as well. So were you always destined to be a goalkeeper then? No chance of you being an outfield player at all?
Yeah. I don't think I had much choice because I was his firstborn. I think he stuck me in the goals, and that was just where it started. I've just played for my local side from under eights, under nines, under tens, under 11s, and then obviously I had the height on the side. Uh, went training with a few clubs, young Man City, Liverpool. So he got, he was getting me into the clubs, and I think he wanted me to play in goal as well. Obviously, I had to like it, which I did. I did
Yeah.
love it. And then I started my career at Bury. Obviously under 14, 15, 16s, did my youth team scholarship and then come through there, did my first year professional contract there, and then they went all bust.
Oh yeah,
So,
of course.
yeah, I think he had a big say in me being a goalkeeper, and obviously I'm sure he wouldn't want me to play in goal if he didn't want me to play in goal.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I chose to play in goal and here I am.
Is it
And
is it the toughest position to play? Because if you're an outfield player, there's always the option, isn't there, to play in a different position. You hear about strikers becoming defenders, left backs, right backs becoming midfield, all these different things. Goalkeepers, you're a goalkeeper, aren't you? And there's only one per team, isn't there?
well, if you stuck me up front, I actually think I'd surprise you. 10 minutes, I think I'd do a good job. Maybe
Yeah,
not the maybe not the fitness side of it, like the some of the endurance the lads have, to run
yeah,
12, 13 kilometers in a game's wild, it's pretty crazy. But yeah, my left foot's not too bad. Probably could win a header. But yeah, I've never really had a chance to play anywhere else. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
You're not as a goalkeeper, you're not really versatile, are you? You can't as a centre half could probably play in midfield.
yeah,
So yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I like honestly in training, if I had a chance to go and play in a small sided game outfield, I'd snap your hand off it. I love
yeah.
doing it, but obviously you can't, can you really? You can't do it.
No, you
No.
get your metatarsal done because you're messing
Yeah,
about.
yeah,
Nobody wants.
exactly.
Nobody,
Exactly.
nobody wants that. So what makes a good goalkeeper then in your view? There's the physical side of things. Obviously, if you've got the height, that's a massive advantage as well. Nowadays, it's about what you can do with your feet, isn't it, as well? And also, what's between your ears. That mental side is becoming more and more important.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think the goalkeeping role now, and I think you think the Premier League and the Championship is I think you got to have to be better with your feet than you are being a shot stopper, which is fine mental because the whole point of being a goalkeeper is to keep the ball out of the net. Don't matter how you keep it out, if you keep the ball out of the net, you've done well. But now it's more, how is he with his feet? Can he do this? Can he do that? Can he play the ball through the midfield, through the strikers? It's crazy, but I can luckily I can play my feet a little bit and I can kick a good ball, depending on what the 6 yard box like and the pitch is like. But yeah, it is crazy now. It's just how the game's evolved, I suppose, isn't it? Managers want their goalkeepers to do this, and I look at like Edison and his ability is unbelievable. And people say he's not the best goalkeeper, but look, he's probably one of the best in the world because of what he can do with his feet.
Yeah. And you've got your reputation now as the penalty king as well. How many penalties have you saved for us? Do you know off the top of your head?
You know what? I don't actually keep it noted down, but yeah, I think I probably have saved my fair share of penalties. I think
Yeah.
there is a bit that goes into this. Obviously, I'll go through it every game. I'd spend 15 minutes having a look. We'll get a sheet of every penalty taker for the team are playing, and I believe it'd be left, right if they've missed it. And me and Tom will sit down and we'll choose which way to go. So obviously, the last game against Chester, I knew Kurt was going to go right. Uh, wasn't the best penalty in the world, but if
No.
you go the right way and you give yourself a chance, you'll save it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's just I've always just been good at penalties. I think the large frame helps. You don't really have to stretch too much. You know, I mean, if you're smaller, you have to take off a bit more, but you
Yeah.
can, your arms cover it as well. So yeah, it's just one thing I've been good at without having to actually practice at it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah.
I think there was a huge amount of faith when Chester got that penalty in that playoff semi-final. I don't think there was too many nervous people. Everyone was
No.
backing you for that one.
Weirdly, in my head, I had that feeling where Neil was going to save it.
Yeah,
Weird feeling that I knew I was going to save the penalty, and I was like, selfishly, I was like, I hope we go and win it now. You know,
yeah.
just so I can look good.
Was that because of what happened with the Chester equaliser? I know you. I don't know whether you were a bit frustrated not holding on to it, but then I watched it back the other day, and arguably defensively, Motley Henry should have been picked up, shouldn't he? When he slotted it in, there's a couple of elements for that. But does the penalty save almost make up for that to a degree, or do you not see that as an error?
For the penalty.
No, so obviously when Chester got the equaliser in the first
Yeah,
half,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
it was a shot, wasn't it? It was difficult to hold on to, wasn't it?
yeah.
I don't know whether you
Yeah.
how critical you are of situations like that.
Well, it was a tough one because it takes a deflection off Brownie as it comes in and it bounces right in front of me. So I think I've done enough at the end of the day because we had Caleb and Reece Devine, and I will always say I'm not rooting them out here, and I think they know that themselves that they could have done a bit more
Yeah,
better. As a defender, you always know to follow in for your keeper.
yeah,
As a striker, you say to strikers always follow in if the keeper makes a save. Sometimes it's virtually impossible to flip your hands to the side and push
push
it
it away. Yeah,
because if you don't get the contact on it, it looks even worse and it goes into the corner. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
So I think you do as much as you can to save it, and you may help get you out of trouble.
yeah. You're a
So
team, aren't you?
it's just one of those things. And on another day, they might have kicked it, they might have kicked it away, but. That's what I mean. It's tough because everyone has their own opinion, and a lot of people, not just me, but fans who never played the game and they've never played in goal, and they're quick enough to say something. And I understand, but like when they don't look into the small details, what the actual goalkeepers look into,
Yeah,
you wouldn't really have a clue. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. Well, it's interesting that you say it deflected off Zach because I was sat in the east stand and I couldn't see any a deflection at all. So that's obviously changed the
Yeah.
trajectory of it and put a bit of spin on it, I imagine as well.
But yeah, obviously shoots right foot. It takes a That's why it goes up to go down and
Mm.
back right in front of me. So it's a tough one to kind of like because you'll need to stop it. You need to stop it dead on the bounce. It's like catching a half volley sweet,
Yeah,
if you know what I'm saying.
yeah.
But yeah, it's goalkeeping. It's yeah. Who wants to play in goal? Like, who
I
wants to?
know. Well, you're all crazy, aren't you? Apparently,
We
that's
are crazy, yeah. We are crazy. But
just back to your dad then. How much do you speak to him, kind of from an advice point of view? I remember watching Kasper Schmeichel on a podcast earlier in the year, basically talking about his relationship with his dad, obviously Peter Schmeichel, and they kind of said, "We're just going to be father and son. We're not going to talk goalkeeping that often." Is it? What's it like with your dad?
similar, similarly. I don't really talk to him about the football and stuff that much. Obviously, he'll ask me how work's going, like any
Yeah,
father probably would do and stuff like that. But I kind of don't really ask him too much. If I want a bit of advice, then I'll ask him. What could I have done better with that? But I won't. We won't sit down for 2 hours and talk about.
yeah, yeah,
He still works in the game, so he has his own goalkeepers to deal with most of
yeah,
the time. But the little things, yeah, yeah, like maybe contractual advice. He'd talk to me about it because obviously I suppose Kasper Schmeichel as an agent he pays a lot for. So, but I suppose in the lower leagues you don't really need one. Don't need. But, uh,
yeah. And I mentioned obviously the sort of the clean sheet record for the season, 22 clean sheets last season. Firstly, what does it mean to you to be able to have that sort of on your CV, if you like? And You mentioned about the sort of the social media criticism, and that's completely ignored now. Are you kind of in the best place you've been as a goalkeeper?
Oh, 100%, 100%. Yeah, feel on. I don't know. It's a strange one because I've never played this amount of games in my career, so I can't really compare it if anything. Obviously when I was at Wrexham playing, I was having 5 games at a time, and then my next five would come 4 months later. And
Mm.
tough as a goalkeeper because you want the run of games. You want to be playing week in, week out, just to get that feeling of being out there. Because I don't know if you could you say you start to feel rusty when you don't play,
Yeah. Oh, that's well.
or
Your
when you're not,
reflexes are going to slow down a
yeah,
bit, aren't they,
you're
if you
not
don't
seeing the
play?
ball. But there's you can do so much training, you can do all the training you want, but it never recreates being in a game situation. But yeah, I do feel good, and I think it's that belief and confidence going into every game, which probably previously I haven't had before.
Yeah. And are you feeling the Agba love?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. You know, I probably I do get some shouts sometimes from behind the goal, and I do lose my head sometimes, and I look and I think, who's shouting that? And I'm like, what? You know, what are you trying to tell me? Because I do hear some negative shouts, which is fine. Everyone's you can always have your shouts, but
Yeah.
maybe come to the bottom and tell me, and we'll talk it out.
Well, they're the vocal minority, aren't they? They're the ones
Yeah,
who are
I don't
who are the
mind
loud.
it. It's
Yeah.
all for the football club, isn't it? You know, I know when people shout, they all want the best for the team, but yeah, I do feel it, and I just want it for them this year. More than me and the team is to do it this year because it was a tough month, wasn't it, last year towards
Yeah.
the it was for everyone. But if we can do it this year, and I'm sure we will hopefully be up and around it, pushing, and let's try and get it done.
Yeah, it's exciting, isn't it? It feels like the most sort of exciting summer for quite a while. Yes, obviously with Phil last season, it was about bouncing back from relegation. This season, I think a lot of fans are excited about firstly about Adam Murray's appointment, the squad that have come in as well, and it just feels exciting. Kurt's obviously come in looking really good in pre-season as well. There's a whole raft of changes in the side as well. It feels like the whole club is in a really good place, and I think it's clear that you and the squad are feeling like that as well.
Yeah, 100%. We're feeling good. Like I said, we're really looking forward to Saturday. We've had some good games, some tough ones. Even when playing the teams below you in the leagues below. I mean, obviously we saw Hellzone last year in the FA Trophy, and I don't know if you saw it, but it was an unbelievable atmosphere. I
Yeah,
think
yeah, yeah.
what they were- did they go one goal up?
Yeah, they went 1-0 up, and then
Yeah, they did.
Reese got the
Yeah,
equaliser, and then
yeah,
Kobe got the late winner.
yeah. He did. Yeah, he did. But they're good. They're good tests, and even this year, even this pre-season house own, they're a good side, just beating 1-0. Even Worcester away on a tough pitch, what we're gonna get this year, tough game to play in. I mean, Stourbridge. Stourbridge. Did we play Stourbridge or
But yeah,
Stourport? Stourbridge.
Starbridge.
Yeah, the Stourbridge game where I did my knee. That was a tough one because it was an Astro, and I don't think it was even an 11-side pitch, was it, in the end? I think
No, Adam said yeah, it's
yeah.
like 9-7.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
Yeah, so they've all been good tests, and I think they do put you into to good stead for the first game. But yeah, like I said, I think we're just all itching for 3 o'clock on Saturday now.
Yeah. Finally, then, what's your message to the fans ahead of this campaign?
I think the same as last year. I think there's going to be ups and downs, and I think just stick with us whatever happens, and we always are going to give it all, and that's all we ever try to do. And obviously, we want to make Agba a fortress again, so just be right behind us every game, and we will give you our best.
Perfect. Well, Christian, thank you very much for your time. I know it's
Thanks
longer
very much. Thanks
than
for
kind
having me.
of
That's all right.
anticipated. I'll report back to the club to say it was agreed beforehand. But yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for your service, as we always say
Oh,
on
you're welcome.
on the end of the podcast, because it has been brilliant to see kind of how you've grown is probably maybe the right word. I don't know, from when you first arrived to where you are now as well. It's brilliant. And as I say, I don't think there's a bigger tribute to you than how nervous everybody was when we thought you were crocked.
I'd love to know who spread the rumor first. I'd love to know.
Cheers, Christian. Thank
All right,
you.
thank you very much.